You're watching the Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com.
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
What'd you think of that, man?
I didn't really see anything.
You weren't looking.
I saw my picture like an idiot, but other than that, was I supposed to hear anything?
You didn't hear it?
And I also look quite different, apparently.
Yes, you
do now.
That's funny. I went through all of your profiles to find the perfect pictures.
Yeah.
And that's the one he picked.
Yep.
Well, that was, I think, after a yoga, or something like that. That's when I was actually being healthy for a change. I haven't been healthy in a while.
Why be healthy?
I was gonna.
Oh, it's just time. It's for me.
Yeah.
I feel better when I do it.
How old are you now, Len?
I turned 50 in May.
50? Really?
Yep.
I thought you were younger, dude. I thought you were in your 40s.
Most people do. No, I turned 50 in May.
Wow. I turned 60 on next Friday.
So some of the stupid fucking shit I take every day must be doing something. Eh?
Well, what do you take every day? Besides pot.
Well, I take, let's see. 2 grams of fish oil, CoQ10, curcumin, magnesium.
Does the fish oil help your joints? I hear it's supposed to.
Yeah, it does if you take the right stuff and enough of it. I take zinc. I take actually prostate formula, which is basically zinc and saw palmetto. What else do I take? That's just because I'm getting older and just why I have prostate issues. Prevent it.
Jerk off once a week, you'll be fine for the rest of your life.
I don't know if that's true, but anyway.
This is fun though.
What else do I take? CBD soft gel in the morning.
Well, I'm gonna
Quercetin.
once I have that stuff available, I'll start taking
vitamin D.
Yeah, really. You don't take a multivitamin? You take them separately?
I should take my vitamin B complex and my multivitamin, but I kind of take a lot of pills, and those ones kind of just put me over the edge. They just, I don't know what, they just make my stomach kind of, I should take them though.
I've not had any luck, meaning it didn't do anything for me with multivitamins.
Well, to be fair, I also take a protein shake in the morning with it. I think it does have some multivitamin shit in that too, to be honest. So just like
my mom used to wake me up growing up every morning with my Ritalin and my Dexedrine, whatever else I was on.
Yeah.
And because it was an appetite suppressant, she always brought it to me with a instant breakfast, the chocolate instant breakfast, right?
Yeah, and I guess, some of those have a lot of sugar, so you gotta watch those too.
I was probably why I have diabetes, but it got to the point where I was not eating, because they're both appetite suppressants, right? And I wasn't eating like I was supposed to, like not finishing dinner, that kind of thing. So my mom started putting a raw egg in it every morning.
It's a protein.
Yeah. Mm. So, yeah.
You make your own protein shakes, Lennie, or are you buying them?
A couple of years ago, I made my own. Oh, you mean like make my own protein powder, like my own formula?
Well, no. Do you make your own protein shakes, or you go into Booster Juice every morning?
Oh no, I make my own.
Oh, okay.
I like Booster Juice, but there's no offense. Anything with juice, it's not good for you. Tastes great, but juice is not really that good for you.
Hello, Janice.
It spikes your insulin, right? It's just you
Oh,
need,
yeah.
you eat, and that's why as much as I love it, it's not good for you. So that's why I avoid it.
I just don't want to waste my money if it's not going to work.
Well, it's not going to work. To me, it's a treat. It's like a nice thing.
Like we make smoothies and things. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. The protein powders and stuff like that, where are they derived from?
It depends which. Some's like from whey, like milk products, and some are encased and things like that, and some are from pea protein, like plant.
So do they? Right. So do they have them differentiated of which ones are vegan?
I believe so.
Okay. So now people that are using crickets.
I've heard about this. Yes.
Do they consider that as vegan?
I don't know. I don't really know too many vegans. They're not really that fun.
I would have to say no. I would say no because that was joking. A living thing, right?
All right. So where they're
I would assume a vegan. I'm assuming a vegan does not eat crickets. If I would make the assumption, I don't really know any vegans.
Oh,
I know some vegetarians.
We need a vegan to chime in because my next question would be, what about the color red?
Red doesn't work for me because of my ADHD. It sets me off, the red food coloring and stuff.
Well, there's a lot of people who are
red food coloring comes from a bug.
Because it's actually colored by ants, or
it's a little beetle.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
The color red, it comes from a little beetle.
Wow. Wow.
The other one.
I'm not necessarily believing.
You have a life?
What?
Don't you have a life?
Who, me? No. I get high.
Is that Al? Is that Al using a button?
Yes, it's me.
You again?
Oh God. We gotta take
diet's really weird, and it is, I think, really complex and individualized. Like the people on these like straight meat diets, some of them are doing extremely well and extremely healthy on it.
Before I went on,
concerns me because things like scurvy, right, which would be very possible if you're not eating at least some vegetables or forms.
I tried the Atkins diet, and all I ate was egg, meat, and that was it. Really.
Well, they claim if you eat some organ meat, like some liver and stuff, they claim there's enough
iron and shit.
Yeah, no.
I love liver, and other vitamins.
Liver and heart. Liver and heart are both really good. I don't like chicken liver or chicken heart. Well, I like chicken heart.
Liver at all in any form. Human either.
No, there's the right way to cook it and the wrong way. Because with liver, if you want it healthy, then just fry it up and eat it. But if you want it to taste good, soak your raw liver in milk.
I've heard that.
For about 30 minutes to an hour before you cook it.
I've seen Emily Lassie doing that.
But it is interesting.
Pink.
If people heard of FODMAP, like you've heard of FODMAP diets, have you?
Yeah.
And different things like that.
That's my diet.
Well, no, but like a lot of when they even go right back to start at a FODMAP, one of the things they'll actually start on and just have people eat one. There's different versions of it, but they'll start with just lamb, and then introduce food back in one at a time to see how the body reacts.
Make you eat rice.
And some people, and some are getting away from the rice because there's so much arsenic in some rice too, right? So, I'm just saying, like,
rice?
There's patients like that, like I just watched her on TV. Not that I really care about her. Jordan Peterson's daughter. She basically has only eaten sirloin steak the last 4 years. because of different but just because of different ailments, and she eats a sirloin steak for twice a day.
A good sirloin steak or a okay sirloin steak? There's a big difference.
I'm assuming she just salt and pepper and just sirloin steak. That's all she eats.
All I put on
she didn't really say what her ailments were prior. She just said she was really, really sick, and when she reduced to just that, she's been much healthier the last several years. And when she tries anything else, it goes bad. So she just said, "Fuck it."
Really?
And I know Joe Rogan goes through it. Like if and other people they'll just eat nothing but meat. Probably something to it.
Gotta have potatoes.
I'll do that for a meal. I'll have nothing but meat.
No. I need potato.
I do that all the time. No, you give
but,
me a really.
But in the end, for some people, they do quite well on it.
Yeah, you give me a really good ribeye. I don't need anything with it.
I personally think my
it depends if you have things like IBS and stuff.
That's why I say it's all individualized, right? So I know anytime I start getting wheat in my diet,
well, I just
things
went
go
through all
horrible.
of it, and I had to do
that. The only things that bother me in my diet is dairy.
Yeah, dairy. But you know what? Dairy isn't so bad now. Although if I eat real cheese, I get gummed up and it's bad for a week. But I recently started eating lactose-free cheese.
Yeah.
And lactose-free sour cream. Excuse me. And it's actually, it tastes, I know you don't like sour cream. It tastes no different than, and it's Gailey, so it's good sour cream. And it tastes no different than the regular stuff. It's not even like the light stuff. I hate the light stuff.
But do they add something into it to make it lactose free?
You know what? I have really no idea. I just know that when I eat real cheese, sometimes I have a hard time, having a movement in the morning. Yeah,
I'm going to find out.
Okay, you do that. The research.
Yeah, I had to do the
how do we get on this topic again?
After years of
finish your sentence, Mary Jane. You keep breaking up, Mary Jane. Your kids must be playing video games, or Timmy's beside you using his computer.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
No, I've got 13 devices hooked up to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, me too.
Your body can normally break down lactose if it creates enough lactase.
But if it doesn't, then you take a pill and it can. I don't want to take another pill, though.
Right. So all they're doing
I use digestive
is
enzymes all the time.
Lactase to the milk to make it lactose free. They're breaking it into two simple sugars. So yeah, they're just adding lactase to the milk product.
So lactose free cheese just has lactase added to it, probably.
To remove the lactose, to break the lactose into two simple sugars.
But it's still there.
Yeah,
correct?
but think of it as a chemical chain, and this lactase goes in and breaks the.
They added the enzyme to it to already break it down. Is that what you're saying, Marcel?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That
makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense once you read it.
They would add that to the lactose-free milk too, and then you just drink you're really just drinking regular milk.
They would add it to regular milk to make it lactose-free.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So
I don't drink much milk anymore. Anyway, I kind of got off milk.
But I'd like to have ice cream or a milkshake now and then, though.
I mean,
I'm not insane.
Chocolate milk and things like that, but the only ones really that should have been drinking milk were cows.
Cows, yeah, that's it. Always seems weird. We're the only mammal that consumes the milk of another species.
Yeah, exactly. You imagine would bears go to cow fields and milk the cows.
So do you want to give everybody a Darcy update?
Darcy update. I talked to Darcy yesterday, but he was pretty tired. But he's been wheeling around the hospital and stuff, and pretty much visited every day.
Back it up a bit. He had some issues, and he had to be rushed to the hospital.
Yeah,
and 3 weeks now, as he said.
Yeah, they've taken him down from the ICU to the next level down. So he's still under a watch. He's got to get a few more tests, a few more scopes. Hopefully not another surgery. And then, but he seems to be recovering well. I think he still has a feeding tube because he still can't swallow.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah. So it's really irritating for him to talk because he's got a tube running down his throat. So I told him they should just put a hose and a tap into his stomach and pump food directly into it that way through his stomach. He's already got enough holes in it now.
Well, I'm glad he's all right.
Yeah, well, he's getting there. He's once he's able to eat real food and they take that tube out, he's going to improve immensely anyways.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine how much weight he's lost when he's only being fed muck through a tube.
Hey, Len, what's a good antibiotic for an ear thingy going on? Like the polysporin eardrops?
Oh, you're talking about ear drops?
Yeah.
Honestly, most ear infections are viral anyway, and they go away within 7 to 10 days anyway.
Well, I'm hoping. I split another.
But it's true. Most are viral. They'll go away usually. Like the problem with the drops are usually the infection's way more internal, and the drops can't even get to it, right? So
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Got it.
Not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt. It probably won't hurt you. But
what'd you say?
I said, have you got a bum ear?
I've split another tooth for one, so I'm assuming that's what's going on. I've got some swelling going on, but I'm feeling numbness, not numbness, just hearing.
an ear infection is more pain.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I'm thinking it's an ear infection, is what I'm thinking. An ear compounded by my tooth. Or maybe started by my tooth.
Or it could just be infection in your tooth that's causing enough pain that's going up to the side of your face, the nerve in the ear.
Ding, 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 ding. I like Marcel's answer.
There you go. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm going to call my doctor and get some antibiotics. So. And then
I'm a big fan of old antibiotics.
Well, I mean, I got to not if it's an infection, then I got to knock it down before I go to the dentist anyways, because I have split another tooth. So.
Yeah. Dentists can prescribe antibiotics for an infected tooth as well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but I don't have a dentist here yet.
Oh. But it's better if it's a dental infection, you're better off getting your antibiotics from a dentist than you are from a doctor, because a doctor doesn't deal a lot with dental issues.
Yeah, he's going to give me amoxicillin just like a dentist is.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
After 40 years, my doctor's retiring, so now I have to find a new doctor.
Yeah. Pain is weird because where you feel pain might not necessarily be where it's actually injured or hurt.
Exactly. I put a glob of oil on it yesterday and it went away real quick.
On your tooth?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That works.
Mm-hmm.
It's also an antibiotic.
Yep.
And antifungal. just in case you got a fungus.
I equate that to why I didn't get as sick as I should have when I had that little cough thing going on.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I was told and I heard and I read that if you vape Fico, it will eradicate a chest cold. So that's what I did.
Why wouldn't that work if you vaped any cannabis?
Well, I would think it would be the potency, wouldn't it?
I don't know. But up until I started ingesting oil daily,
yep,
I suffered from at least one bronchitis attack every year. And I mean a bad one. But once I started consuming oil on a daily basis, that's never been an issue since. MJ is back. Al.
She shut off all her other devices?
Nope, she switched computers.
She's gone to the green screen.
She doesn't look happy now. Her computer died. Yep.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 computers, and not one of them is able to run StreamYard tonight. I'm like,
sounds like you need
I'm this close. I'm this close to starting a GoFundMe. This close.
Why?
That's a joke. That's a joke, of course. But
why won't they run StreamYard?
My Mac completely died. That won't do shit. The other one I can't plug a microphone into. The third one I can't have it unplugged, and there's nowhere to plug it in here. I'm like, if my hair wasn't just dyed, it would be gray.
Like
I'm
mine.
adjusting your volume.
Thank you. Because I adjusted everybody's volume to adjust hers.
Wow, am I too quiet?
No, you were a little too loud because you're on your phone, right?
Oh, I don't even know if it's coming through here, like through the buds, or if it's coming
probably
there.
from your phone, because when you put your head up and touched it, nothing.
Okay, I'll tell you now. Or
yeah, your phone.
Which one was louder, 1 or 2?
Your phone, 2.
2? Okay.
Very good snapping, though.
Everybody snap their fingers now, so they can do it.
I don't know if I can anymore.
Oh yeah, you can do it.
A little bit. Pretty weak though.
Oh no, that's terrible. Now how am I supposed to share the photo I wanted to share with you guys? I can't because I'm on my phone. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'm on my iPad. There's limitations like doing this not on a laptop or a computer.
Oh really?
I recently my Chromecast, my speaker got knocked off again and again and again, and now it's dead. So Marcel, you know what I did? I took 2 spongy, sticky 3M thingies, and it ain't going nowhere now. But I decided to plug my Mac right into my monitor, my TV. Yeah. So now I just have a super Mac in the kitchen, in the living room.
Oh, so you broadcast your Mac on the big screen.
It's just, lids closed and I can watch whatever I want, work, whatever. It's huge. It's nice. It's a 42-inch screen. Nice. I like it. Yeah, man. I'm going to leave it like that. I bought a Chromecast for the TV in the guest room. Then I had to figure out how to shut off Prime from being able to rent and buy movies.
Cool.
So I shut that off.
I don't have that ability.
What?
I won't buy a movie. I'll wait for it to come.
I won't. I mean, it's
the greatest patience of all, man. I can wait forever for a show or a movie.
You can.
Yeah, but that's not how it works anymore.
I know.
It's not like it used to be, where it's like, hey, this movie's in the theater, and if I wait long enough, it'll be on TV. There's streaming services. Like, what about That's My Boy? That was on Netflix for like 10 years, and now it's gone. It's not on any streaming services.
Expendables? I watched the new Expendables yesterday.
I love that movie, by the way.
It sucked. It sucked Len. This one
What?
sucked. Enough is enough. Expendable 4.
Oh no, I'm
Enough
talking
is
about
enough.
That's My Boy. I love that
Oh,
movie.
okay.
That's fucking
That's one of
great.
my favorites. I can watch that again and again.
I think
and
I've
again.
watched that like fucking 20 times.
I don't know that movie. What is it again?
Adam Sandler and
That's
I'm not
My
a big
Boy.
Adam Sandler fan.
and Andy Samberg.
Yeah, it's like really good for Sandler.
What was the Buttafuoco? It's sort of really no, it's not really that, is it? No, they try to kill their wife. Like a teacher goes to jail for seducing the kid, and the kid becomes famous. It's weird.
I can't remember.
It's fucking funny.
Oh,
It's really good.
oh yeah. It's like a 12-year-old boy has sex with his grade 8 teacher or some shit and gets her pregnant and has to raise the kid. And that's the premise. That's the movie. That's My Boy.
But there was some real life thing that happened about. But I was thinking of, what was that, Jenna Fisher? Jenny?
Isn't that basically what?
But that's not.
I'm
on the wrong thing. But who was that? Buttafuoco and
you got a thing for
they shot the
Buttafuoco.
wife in the head or something.
I don't know.
Remember.
I don't know.
All I remember is David Letterman for fucking a year saying Buttafuoco.
I know, eh? And that's why I was saying. I was just gonna say Letterman did that a lot.
It was every week.
Like that word.
Top 10 list Buttafuoco.
Yeah, I miss David Letterman.
The old Dave. I don't watch his Netflix stuff, but the old.
Oh, I like his. I like his. Like he's. He amuses me.
No, I only ever like the top 10 list, to be honest.
Yeah,
the writers.
Yeah, see,
the writers. Of that
this is That's My Boy.
Yeah, brilliant movie.
I don't even know if you can see that. It's just all bright.
There's that lip action.
Another fantastic movie that nobody watches is Popstar.
I love that movie.
It's
I
fucking
literally
brilliant.
okay. So I made a comment on somebody else's post because they were very like it gave me pop star vibes. And I said that. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. This gives me pop star vibes. And then I put hashtag never stop stopping, like the movie.
Yeah, never
and
stops.
well, it was literally like that catchphrase verse where the whole song is just he's like saying catchphrases.
He just does the whole
yeah, like things like doink the doink, and like stupid shit like that.
The donkey roll.
You know,
that's funny.
Pauly Shore is being, I don't know if he's actually been approached, but there's talk that Pauly Shore wants to do the Richard Simmons.
I heard about this
movie. I think I'm not a Pauly Shore fan at all, but yes, I saw the picture. He looks exactly like Richard Simmons.
How could you not be a Pauly Shore fan?
I always liked Pauly Shore. He did a couple of shitty movies at the end, but Son-in-Law is fucking awesome. Encino Man,
I love
brilliant.
Son-in-Law.
Encino Man, that was all right. But now it's his voice. I can't get over it.
I love Biodome.
Have you seen his latest one on Netflix or Prime or whatever, where he's House Guest?
I haven't watched it because I'm kind of scared to.
Oh no, it's good.
Is it?
It's a good movie. Yeah, if you like Pauly Shore, you'll like it. But I just have one question for Pauly Shore. If he does play Richard Simmons, I just want to know: are you going to wear a headband or not? That's all I want to know.
He has to.
No, because Richard Simmons never wore a headband.
Marcel, get on the internet.
I've seen him with a headband.
He never wore a headband.
Pauly Shore never wore a headband?
No. Richard Simmons. Why would he wear a headband on that afro? No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Welcome to the other side. No, he did not.
I'm looking.
Google it. Google it up. This is the shift. This is the shift in the paradigm where people are like the Mandela effect.
Mandela effect shit, like something everyone thinks happens that never really happened. What's that called, Marcel?
A Mandela effect. Because they believed that Mandela died in prison, when in reality he didn't die in prison.
Yeah, he did not. But nobody.
But
heard
people
him.
believe he did.
Like for example, like the lines like Luke, I am your father. That's not how the line goes, but we all say it that way.
What about it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood is actually not what they say. They say it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
That's one I never heard of. I haven't found a fucking picture.
Was it Curious George?
Are you
Does
ready
Curious
for this?
George have a tail or not?
I found one, but it might be airbrushed in.
You didn't find one. It's worth noting that on the internet there is not a single picture of Simmons wearing a headband. The only available pictures are of the impersonators who dress up as Simmons on Halloween and were seen donning the headband.
Huh.
So
yeah,
there's a Halloween.
this is a huge argument
Simmons.
because every single Halloween costume for Richard Simmons comes with a sweatband.
A headband. That's what I see. Yes.
Okay, do you know why? He never wore a costume. So a Richard Simmons costume would be a
Shorts and a t-shirt.
tank top and a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wore, was a tank
Short
top and
shorts.
Yeah,
Shorts.
but like I can see like the flag shorts.
How do you charge somebody for a Halloween costume when they probably have it in their friggin' closet?
Well, yeah, but no,
So
they literally.
headband, right?
No, you put the afro with it. You sell the wig with it.
Oh, yeah, it's the headband that holds the wig on.
That's funny.
I had
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Like George, Curious George, never had a tail.
Yeah, I knew that one.
I was like, I thought he had a tail.
Yeah, I would have got that one wrong. I'm actually looking at all this shit right now. Like,
yeah, there's a bunch of them. I've gone down rabbit holes, and they say that like the vibrations in our like this is one timeline and this is another timeline, and because the vibration is so close, it's just like just slightly different. So we still have Richard Simmons, but he's just not wearing a headband in our reality that we've now shifted into. I like to play make believe every once in a while.
Some of these are kind of stupid, like Oscar Mayer with an E versus an A. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, Hypnotic, the drink from the 90s or the early 2000s.
Pet rocks. I mean, people actually bought pet rocks, and it was just a beach rock that was put in a box with some chopped up crepe paper or whatever.
How about Looney Tunes?
Maybe we should bring those back. Oh,
They're
how do you spell Looney Tunes? No. How do you spell Looney Tunes?
LOONEYTUNES.
Lennie, how do you spell Looney Tunes?
That's how I would spell it.
But it's IE. It's IE, isn't it?
No, how was the logo spelled?
TUNES. What are they arguing? It's like cartoons. TOON. Is it really TOONS or tunes? I thought it was tunes, like music.
It is tunes like music, and that's what it was meant to be. But everybody remembers the logo as tunes, as in cartoons.
Well, yeah.
But it was never that logo. It was always TUNES.
Oh, really?
What about Fruit Loops? How do you spell Fruit Loops? There's another good one.
OOTS. It's OOTS.
Is it? Oh. I would have went fruit, like real spelling.
These are things that people argue about all the time on the internet.
I would never argue. It's just kind of interesting when you really stop.
Well, we're not arguing, no, but they do.
Yeah, Fruit Loops is spelled with 2 O's, not UI.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. My favorite is the Britney Spears one. The one where she wears the one-piece bodysuit. Everybody remembers her with that like microphone thing in the video, and you can watch a million of you can go find the videos. She's never wearing the microphone. The only time she ever wears the microphone is on stage. So I'm convinced that people just have seen her on stage so much that they just assume that that's what it was, because that's what we remember. But how much can you really trust your memory?
It's hard to trust your memory because your memory will make up things to fill in gaps.
Mm-hmm. Well, they say every time you recall a memory, you are basically bringing it back, and you could alter it when you bring it back and think about it. So that way, the next time you think about it, you don't remember it exactly the way it happened. You've now remembered the altered version.
That's the same thing as if you tell the same lie enough times, you'll start believing it yourself.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, I actually tried that theory with an instance that I had with my mother growing up, that it was very traumatic.
You were lying to her all the time?
No. It was like an abusive situation, and I wanted to change the narrative. So
I just read.
I ended
really
up adding like Nerf guns and all kinds of like crazy things to my memory. So I'm like, I don't even remember what happened that day anymore.
This one I would have totally got wrong. The Snow
What
White.
is it?
Snow White, like mirror on the wall. How's it go?
Oh, I heard this one.
I didn't know this one. Mirror on the wall. Do you guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah, magic mirror on the wall.
Is it magic mirror on the wall? That sounds
okay. So why did they make a movie called Mirror and not Magic Mirror?
Because they fucked up, apparently.
Because
the timeline shifted.
No, they thought it was Mirror too.
But it's just crazy. But like, I just read the Star Wars one. It says, "No, I am your father." There is no Luke. I am your father.
Yeah, I know. Everybody says
that's to me the most famous one. Probably because I'm a.
Everybody's looking at each other. I'm happy now.
Jeez Louise. Oh, I'm gonna mess it up.
This shit's fun.
I can turn this way.
So I went to Elevate last week. You guys didn't do a show, right?
We were going to, and
couldn't.
And then Marcel thought his house was going to blow away, so we didn't.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, I had that shit too.
Yeah, my house.
That's right. We had that storm.
It was 2 weeks ago. I couldn't do it, but yeah.
So okay, Elevate.
Yeah. So I went to the Elevate Expo. It was the first year for it. But I will say it definitely didn't look like a first year event.
Oh well, that's good.
Like I've been to many events, and like, you know, the Indigenous Cannabis Cup the first year, that felt like it was a first year event because there was a lot of like kinks that they were working out. This one didn't feel like it was a first year. It definitely felt like they're experienced when it comes to throwing events, so that was nice. But I actually ran into a 420 radio listener who was like, she was sad because she said she didn't know where to find the 420 radio. She's like, I used to listen to you guys all the time, but I haven't listened to you in a while because I don't know where to find you. And I was like, what?
Who was it? Do you know?
That's actually what I'm looking for right now to see if I can send a photo. I believe she was the lucky winner of the Zenko vape as well, which I was like super jelly about because that was the one I was hoping to win. But they did this thing one day where they did terpenes and explained, I think it was called Terpenes Unleashed. But the thing that I really liked is they had set out on tables the different terpenes. So for example, like pinene, it showed every herb and spice that has pinene in it. So I found that really interesting. But the thing I didn't think about before all of this is, like, for example, that bee caryophyllene or caryophyllene.
Beta caryophyllene.
Okay, so I'm looking at it now. I see Swiss chard, chamomile, rosemary, figs, spinach, cinnamon, black pepper. These are all things that I don't like and my body doesn't like when I eat them. So looking at these things, I'm like, well, if you can identify the foods that you like to eat and the spices that you enjoy from these tables, I was like, oh my God, maybe you could figure out what terpenes your body wants too.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. I'm going to rein the parade down on the terpenes a bit. There's a whole lot of other chemicals in there that affect the taste and smell, like aldehydes and esters, things like that.
Flavonoids.
Flavonoid. It just everyone, like, the terpenes are a big part. Don't get me wrong, but there is kind of more to it. That's all. It's a fun thing to talk about, but
what's the terpene that gives magic mushrooms their flavor? Because I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's a terpene I don't like.
It's called poop.
Yeah.
Leaves a shitty taste in your
No,
mouth.
it's just funny.
That's why you make capsules.
Yeah. But guess what? When you burp, you taste it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I never eat that much. I only ever eat like this much.
But
Baby amount.
here's a cool trick. If you make a capsule, put ginger in it.
Oh, shrooms?
Why?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the ginger will counteract the nausea you get.
Yeah,
from the,
that's a little trick for a lot of people. Like, even
Oh,
if you
really?
don't want to be
How
that
much?
fancy, go get ginger Gravol at the pharmacy.
Yep.
take them.
Ginger is amazing at controlling nausea.
There's a lot of gingers. If you there's a lot of combination herbal medicines that have things for your GI tract.
Yep.
Good, like a lot of zinc carnosine
That-
helps your barrier
I'm
tract. But
interested in that
ginger is
because
amazing.
I usually wake up in the mornings feeling nauseated from the diabetes and the metformin.
Ginger.
Okay.
Do you like ginger? Do you like ginger ale?
Yes.
That was when we were kids. If we ever got sick, that was the first thing that we would get is flat ginger ale.
Yep. That's the.
I still like
even-
ginger ale when I'm sick.
Even still
So do
now,
I.
when I get sick or I feel like I'm getting,
Even
a
though
cold,
there's barely no real
like-
ginger ale in it, but it still works for me.
But I cook with a lot of ginger too. We actually use a lot of ginger in a lot of the food that we make.
But I'll tell you
Only-
one thing back to sorry not to go interrupt you. I apologize, but back to Mary Jane's comment about like it's rare to find a like a cannabis that doesn't have high beta carotene. It's so high in so many ones.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who that is, Mary Jane.
it's high in everything.
Me either, but she gave me a really awesome compliment. So, thank you. And I also sent a couple of the tables too. So if you wanted to show those, or at least you guys wanted to look at it, that's what they did for the
I can bring it up. Yep.
But
for
I
the
am
terpene
noticing like
stuff.
the weeds on like, and I'm not gonna say like the ones that people find really like hits them differently or really into it, or the ones that basically are not limonene, myrcene, or carotene, which is basically like 90% of the weed we all smoke. But when you start seeing the terpenolines and the Neredols, the linalols, things like that, it's just kind of funny. They're the ones that people kind of.
Oh, now she leaves. I pull up.
No,
She's
I'm
trying-
coming.
I think she's trying to show her picture.
Here, I dropped
Right.
my doobie.
So here's the first picture. This is from
Yep.
Elevate. Where was it?
Toronto, wasn't it?
Where? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was at the Mirage Banquet Hall in Toronto, kind of like a Etobicoke area.
Cool. Licensed?
Beautiful spot. Yeah, it was all legal, all LPs and retail and bud tenders and
Cool beans. And you saw a lot of people we know, I'm sure.
oh my God, yeah, and some new people too.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, lots of new people. Yep, we also seen Truro. I picked up some tit animal.
You get the tit animal?
I did.
Wait. You were allowed to purchase at Elevate?
Sample.
These are samples. So in the cannabis rules and regulations, they've allowed for sampling for bud tenders, anyone with CanCell licenses and stuff. So that way they can go and test, get the products to test them. So that way they can, advise people that are on all the new products.
This is new? Yeah. This is part of the changes that they're making? Or?
No, it's...
Okay.
I'll give you a little...
Since Lyft, at least, right?
What's that?
How long has this been? It's been a while.
Well, this is what Lennie was
Like
talking
this
about
year.
at Lyft. We were talking about this at Lyft, weren't we, Len?
I believe so, but what it is, you can... The issue is... Health Canada federally has never actually given away to sample. In theory, everyone is allowed to gift 30 grams, blah, 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 blah. But how it actually leaves an LP facility to get into the hands of that bud tender like Mary Jane, it's actually up in the air. However, provincially, Alberta and Ontario, provincial governments are okay with it. But federally, there's really no SOP or procedure to do it. So it's kind of a fuck show, we want to know the truth.
But you can't consume on property.
That's up to the facility, like kind events.
If it's outdoors,
if there's
yeah.
an outdoor designated smoking area.
We're getting
Yeah,
we're getting close. We're getting close.
Yeah, so it's the part that still frustrates me is because we're still working within bylaws and stuff like that. And the part that's so aggravating. Okay, I don't even drink, but if I did, this would piss me off. Okay, I can have a joint now, but I have to finish my joint and go over there into the bar area and have my drink. But I can't take my drink outside the bar area, and I can't have my you don't think I'm educated enough to consume and hold both at the same time? No, it's the rules and regulations.
Doesn't think you're smart enough.
Cheers to rules and regulations.
Yeah, but
I understand we're still pushing for changes and stuff, but like that's one where I'm just like, it's really frustrating because, people, they're making a killing off drinks. I will say that because every person that buys a drink that goes out for a joint leaves their friggin' drink on the table and they never come back for it. They go get another one.
But yeah, no, it's interesting how even technically, even how us getting those samples there, it's kind of questionable, but I don't give a fuck. Health Canada can fuck off. You heard me.
You know how many times I leave those events and I'm like, whoa, because I never consume anything new at an event because I'm worried that you end up smoking something that's infused or whatever. And next thing you know, I'm fucking like, oh my God, Timmy, you need to take me home. I don't do that. I take everything home and I sample it all at home where I know that I can just crash if I need to. But now I'm carrying back all of these samples and I'm like, in my head, I'm trying to do the math.
You got to do your math unless you have a medical license.
Well, and here's the thing with these events is they should be monitoring, and a lot of them do. That's why you have the stamp card. That's why people are supposed to be scanning your thing.
Did they give you a passport?
Right. So that way you know that you've already picked up the sample. Like at Elevate, they had to scan your badge. As soon as they scanned your badge, you can't get another sample.
Grow Up does the same thing.
Right. Like
Kind was a passport. So there's a Tro Cannabis page. So if you're a registered bud tender, you get a bracelet and the passport. We stamp or my stamp broke at Kind, so you're getting Lennie Walser autographs on the page. Is what I was doing.
Basically something to mark that you've given them something and they can't come back and get
another. Can I ask Marijane a question? How many of them had excise stamps on their samples?
Of the what?
How many of them have the Canadian excise stamp on their sample?
That's a good question.
Because I have got a defined ruling from CRA on the sampling.
Well, I will say, and
they want their motherfucking tax.
There's so many things that we need to change with these things. Like you were saying, yes, we get a passport and we get but you have to then also educate every single person at your booth what you're supposed to do when a bud tender comes up and says, hey, I'd like a sample. There were booths that I went to hand them my card and they're like, what am I supposed to do with this? And I'm like, you're supposed to stamp it. And they're like, I haven't been stamping anything. Were we supposed to do that?
Well,
and they're looking around and I'm like, and then you get to another booth.
You don't, to be fair, you don't know.
No, it wasn't Elevate. It wasn't Elevate.
The sending and not educating their staff.
Well, and that's where I was getting to as well. Like, when we were playing with another team, like this is, I'll tell you, this one was at Kind. The other one that I was talking about was not at Kind either. Yeah. But when we were at Kind, we were playing spike ball with these two guys, and they're all in teapot gear and whatever. We find out they don't even work for teapot. They just are there helping as like promotional. Because I get it, like you need extra hands, and their job is literally just playing spike ball. They don't need to talk about the product. They don't need to know anything about it. They're just there like to bring the fun.
Marco did that at Treating Yourself. With what he did was he had a whole bunch of people from the community man the volcano booths or the tables, and they all wore volcano gear and stuff because Volcano gave them gear. That's all it is.
Wait, which one is it? Is it this one or this one?
Holy!
What's that?
There should be a stamp right over top of it.
Greg,
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
you
see
mean
that
this
little
thing?
lovely thing from
Yes.
Churro Cannabis? Compliant, motherfuckers.
Let's see. I don't see any on this one. That one.
And
Do you know what gets me? At least this is a package, okay? Package. Maybe they don't have that thing on
you have
it,
some
but
people
like,
not in a package? Ooh, even worse.
I'm like, let me take the sticker out
Don't
because
say
I'm
who
like,
it is. I'm not trying to get
and
anybody.
that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna take the sticker out so you don't know what company it is.
Yeah,
but like,
that's like.
Was there an
but this
excise
is
stamp on it?
No stamp. There's no fucking label on it. It's a baggie.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is.
Wasn't it
How am
on
I
the
supposed
card?
to sample this? No, it's a sticker. This is the back of the sticker, and the sticker is just their logo. It'd be like Turo giving me a Turo sticker in a bag with some bud.
That's a surprise gift.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, but that's not
but that
what the
is something
purpose
that
of
pisses me
this.
off with Health Canada. Like in the end, everyone is sampling.
Like those are all from the same.
They know everyone's sampling, but they won't
This
tell
one came in
anybody
a
how to
paper
do
bag.
it or how they wanted to do it. They like it's your own internal SOP.
Wait, that's just a pre-roll?
That's
It's just a click
or is
pen.
that a syringe?
Oh,
Yeah, it's a syringe. I'm like, do any of these have those things on it? Oh, I found one. Cushcraft.
Good for them. Yay, compliant.
Yeah. Oh, this one has a torn label. I don't even know what that is. This is a big basket, though. I'm excited for this one. Some lotion.
I don't see an excise stamp on it though.
No. Full spectrum CBG and CBD plus THC pain cream. 250, 250, 250.
But yeah, those poor motherfuckers.
Wow.
For CRA.
Oh, here's another one. Look who it is.
Well, actually,
is it Donair? What is it?
Churro.
No, but what's
another tit animal?
Oh, you got two of them, did you?
Oh.
Yeah, good. Oh, that must
another
be
churro.
Yeah, that's an old one. I think Jen had some extra stock.
She did. She was like, "Here, go hand these out." I was like, "I'm going to the smoking section right now. Give me those."
Yeah. No, we were smart enough to at least consult CRA on our sampling, and they're like,
Yeah,
"You don't
there's
have to."
not many in there.
You know, like there is a federal 2.3% tax besides the excise tax that LPs pay. So we don't have to charge that to ourselves, but they want that buck a gram.
Really?
Yeah.
So every gram you give away, you have to pay $1.
To CRA, yes.
Holy fuck!
Terrible.
Now, here, listen. I'm fucking telling everyone. How do you think those LPs are getting that out?
Oh, I know how. They're walking out the door with it.
Yeah, there's no way. You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I know you're not supposed to, but that's exactly what's happening.
So
It
eventually, Health
else.
Canada is going to come around and is like, so where'd you put those things? What most of them are doing, which to me is two rights don't make a wrong.
You have to what do you call it? Validate even samples. Like you have to show that where they are.
You cannot have a gram.
Well, you have to account for all product.
Wow.
Every gram is accounted.
Everything that goes in the garbage.
It would be no different. It would be no different than if you were making cupcakes or a cake factory. You still have to account for all the flour, all the sugar, all the shit. If you damage it, throw it out, whatever.
So what a bunch of them do is try
Not
to do
quite.
it for their own medical licenses, which is stupid and not right. Because technically, you're not supposed to use a medical license to go give away a recreational product.
Yep.
Defeats the purpose. I think a lot of them are, unfortunately, Health Canada get a procedure. They're fake destroying it.
Yep.
We just destroyed 500 jars, and they give it to their sales reps. That's not what Churro does. But
so why can't they do this with the basic public?
Do what?
Samples.
Sampling.
That's the way the provinces approve the samplings for bud tenders only in educational purposes.
So what's going to happen next year
license, whatever it's called.
when Lyft is here and they want to do samples?
Well, they did samples.
They can what, but they have.
But it's only to can-sell bud tenders, technically.
That's redundant. You want to be able to give samples to the public who is using this.
That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, it's honestly part of the reason why a lot of people have gotten their cancels in the cannabis industry, because they want to go to these styles of events, and there's another divide that's happening too within the industry, because you have working bud tenders that are trying to get knowledge and going to these events, but they can't because there are other people that don't have bud tending jobs, but they just got the license to go get free shit. This was one event, boys. This was one event. And I went one day. I didn't go all 4 days around to every booth. That was one day. And I didn't even hit every table. My goal was to hit every table and get one sample from each table. And I couldn't even do that. And I still left with this much. And people are going to event.
You, Marijane? Oh, maybe you were there as media anyway.
Yeah, we went to media. And
but for the bud tenders, was it free?
The Elevate this year was free. I don't know how he pulled it off. Kudos to Jazz. He did a great job, but it
wasn't free for fucking me. That's why.
Well, from what I heard, you should get a very nice ROE. So at least that's what we talked about in our discussions through the podcast, is that he built a model where he'll end up ROI. That way he'll be able to purchase product for his store from your store or from your thing or whatever. So
oh no, it's part of doing. I wasn't shitting on Jazz. His name's Jazz, right?
Yeah, on Jazz. But I will I'm just saying, we had coffee, tea.
But I never met him. I've never met him.
Well,
actually, that's a lie. I met him at Kind. That's a lie. I did meet Jazz. That's false.
Yeah, it was a very well put together event, and I could see. I don't know if maybe he did it free this year just because it was the first year and to get traffic in the door, but and maybe next year it won't be free.
He makes his money off the way to make the money. It is off the LPs or whatever brands that sell it. And for me as a LP, obviously you would like the bud tenders to try your product, and hopefully they like it and hopefully they recommend it. That's the kind of point. I would rather
I think that LP
Al
should
was saying, I would like to actually start servicing the public.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. And you're going to have to start pushing that, buddy. Come on, you can do it, Len.
Oh, I've been pushing it for 2 years.
Well, that's basically what I do.
I'm not sure when he's pushing much longer, to be honest. Let's let people know that.
Well, Lenny, that's basically what I do with a lot of my samples, because in some of the doob tubes, there's 2 samples in there, 2 joints. I'd smoke one and I gift it to a friend, whether they're a bud tender or they're just an average consumer, so that way they get to try all this stuff too. I think I just went into the local Tokyo Smoke here and dropped off some Donair Kush to the bud tender, one of my favorite bud tenders. He keeps me stocked on my teapot drinks, so we're tight.
I heard teapot drinks are good. I haven't had one.
It's the only place here in my city in Belleville where I can get the drink I want, so that's the only one that'll carry it.
I just heard about the brand. That's the ones that are from Maine, aren't they, or Massachusetts, aren't they?
I don't know.
I think they are. They're somehow tied to a New England beer company, financially. I heard they're a really good brand. I think that's the people who owns
Twisted Tea. The people who make Twisted Tea.
Is that who it is? Yeah, I think that's. I heard they're pretty.
Yeah, it's a big beer company.
That's.
But I know is it the Boston Beer Company?
Yes, I believe that's it.
Okay, so I will say I've tried all 3 of their beverages. The original iced tea. Oh, okay, I'll start at the beginning. The reason why I like all of that brand is because it's non-carbonated. And I have yet to find a drink that's cannabis infused that is non-carbonated. I'm like, if anybody has them out there, you have suggestions, please give them to me, because like I'm always looking for new ones.
Al's been getting syrup from Tim Barnhart at Legacy 420, and he makes his own drinks.
Okay, because I know Tim was doing iced tea, and he was doing carbonated drinks, but I found his stuff was very distillate-y.
You can get like just the syrup, so you can make it whatever you want to make it into.
Yeah, my fear is that it's still distillate, though.
Yeah, I guess I get that.
You know how
I don't like anything distillate. I don't.
Yeah,
the best one I've had so far, and I haven't had this tea party one, and I can't remember, to be honest. I don't think it was carbonated, Mary Jane. Is it Senorita? It was basically a margarita, but it was made with cannabis. I'm a margarita whore. I'll be honest. It's my favorite alcohol drink on the planet. Like, I love margaritas. It was so fucking good, and they have a mango one as well.
Ew, spicy lime.
They call it spicy lime.
Terrible.
No, they call it spicy lime guave, but it's a margarita. They're not allowed to call it a margarita because of the cannabis act.
What does margarita taste like?
It's tequila and lime.
Lime and tequila and salt.
Ew.
You've never had a margarita?
No.
What?
Wow.
I don't drink.
Wow.
The last time I drank was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I used to love tequila until I got alcohol poisoning off it.
Yeah, but it is. But the mango one, they make a mango one as well. Phenomenal. They were both excellent. I don't believe they had carbonation.
So since we're not allowed to play music anymore on our breaks, I'm going to start playing. Nope. I'm going to start playing videos that I find that are informational. This one's called The Magic Behind Mushrooms, The Untold Story of Psilocybin. Enjoy. I did. It's actually really good. So we're going to watch this. We'll be back in 15 minutes or so. This is the 420 radio show, and we'll be right back.
CBG TV is the way to broadcast your message to an audience looking for your products or services. Affordable advertising, personalized campaigns, special promos, event attendance, and more. Talk to someone today, in person or by email. Find us online at www.cbgtv.com. Or you can send an email to admin@cbgtv.com. Additionally, if your phone scans QR codes, scan this one to learn more.
I recommend a healthy dose of psilocybin mushrooms. And I'm glad they're against the law. You know what happened when I took them? I lay in a field of green grass for 4 hours going, my God, I love everything.
Psilocybin mushrooms are magical fungi that grow all around the world, even before Jesus was riding dinosaurs. Unlike most psychedelics, the psilocybin mushroom is a complete entheogen, meaning that you don't need to mix, match, cook, or extract it to receive its full effects. It just grows from the ground, ready to go, mate. Some evidence would suggest that the use of psilocybin mushrooms date back to 9,000 years ago, based on the art at the Tsili caves in Africa. The most common use for psilocybin mushrooms in ancient cultures was for spiritual healing and to communicate with the gods. However, not everybody was using mushrooms for benevolent purposes. Some written observations account the malevolent use of the mushroom among the Montezumanic people. Allegedly, during the emperor's coronation ceremony, many prisoners were sacrificed, had their flesh eaten and their hearts removed. Those who were invited guests to the feast ate mushrooms, which Diego Duran describes as causing those who ate them to go insane and many to take their lives. After the Spanish conquest, Catholic missionaries deemed all hallucinogenic plants and fungi as demonic tools, basically, which eventually diminished the religious use of magic mushrooms, at least in mainstream culture. But despite this, mushrooms were still used in some remote areas. Psilocybin mushrooms were later rediscovered in the West in the late 1950s by mycologist Gordon Wasson. He participated in a mushroom ceremony with Maria Sabina, a Mexican shaman who first introduced magic mushrooms, also known as the children, to the modern world. So basically, if it wasn't for her, we probably wouldn't know about shrooms today. So Wasson then collected the spores of the mushroom, took them to Paris, which was later cultivated in Europe, and its primary ingredient, psilocybin, was isolated in the laboratory by Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann in 1958, and the rest is history. Now, many people leave out that later in life, Maria Sabina actually regretted introducing mushrooms to Wasson and ended up being ostracized from her community. She became bitter about her many misfortunes and how others had profited from her name. She felt that the ceremony of magic mushrooms had been irredeemably polluted by the hedonistic use of mushrooms. From the moment the foreigners arrived, the holy children lost their purity, they lost their force, they ruined them. Henceforth, they will no longer work. There is no remedy for it. Before Wasson, nobody took the children simply to find God. They were always taken to cure the sick. In 1957, Wasson wrote the famous Life magazine article, Seeking the Magic Mushroom, which ended up inspiring psychedelic advocate Timothy Leary, who funded the Harvard Psilocybin Project with Richard Albert, now known as Ram Dass, promoting the psychological and religious study of psilocybin and other psychedelic drugs. For those who don't know, Leary was one of the most infamous leaders of the hippie counterculture movement, which the government revolted against with the war on drugs and eventually banned any further research on psychedelic drugs, making them highly illegal substances.
There is nothing smart, there is nothing grown up or sophisticated in taking an LSD trip at all. They're just being engaged in this or indulged in this. It's just a plain fool.
Psilocybin and psilocin are now listed as Schedule 1 drugs under the United Nations 1971 Convention on Psychotropic Substances. Schedule 1 drugs are defined as substances with a high potential for abuse or have no recognized medical uses. After a 40-year hiatus on psychedelic research, there has since been a psychedelic renaissance in the scientific community and mainstream culture.
Something's going on. The culture is ready to have this conversation. I really think we're in an inflection point right now, and I didn't see it coming.
Nowadays, psychedelics such as psilocybin mushrooms have been recognized by the medical community as a legitimate medicine that can have profound effects when used in the right context, particularly for treating mental illness. And this can sound absolutely insane when you first hear this. It's like, yeah, all right, mate, I'm sure taking drugs is going to help me with my mental health. Bloody hippies. But if you take a closer look at the research, you'll quickly discover that there's actually something to this. It's not just idiots like me making silly claims. There are actual legitimate scientists from respected institutions such as the Johns Hopkins University, MAPS, and Imperial College London that have conducted studies suggesting that psychedelics such as psilocybin, ayahuasca, and ibogaine can significantly help with mental illness, drug addiction, and even existential dread, among others. And the results are looking very promising. Unlike other classes of drugs such as alcohol, caffeine, heroin, or crystal meth, psilocybin mushrooms work very differently. For example, when you consume alcohol or nicotine, you know exactly what you're in for, since these drugs have a very specific mechanism. But psychedelics like psilocybin have a non-specific amplifying effect on human consciousness, which results in vastly different experiences from person to person. Sometimes life-transformative mystical experiences, and other times a complete psychotic breakdown. But as Joseph Campbell once said, the psychotic drowns in the same waters in which the mystic swims with delight. And this is exactly why set and setting is so crucial for these type of experiences, and why these tools are not for everybody.
Jung told people, he talked about mescaline and LSD in the context of Huxley's introduction of those substances into the Western world. The first thing he said is, beware of unearned wisdom. It's like, yeah, man, that's great. And he also said, you have to be very careful about entering the realm of the gods, because you end up with a responsibility that might be more crushing than you can tolerate. I've never read anyone who wrote wiser words about the dangers of psychedelic use than that, because he didn't say, well, none of this is real. He said, it's more real than you want it to be. And so watch the hell out.
When ingested, psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, quickly metabolizes into psilocin, which acts as a 5-HT, 2A, 2C, and 1A agonist. Now, in English, this means that psilocybin attaches to our serotonin receptors, similar to a key fitting a lock. Serotonin, which is primarily found in the body's stomach and intestines, is the chemical responsible for regulating mood, visuals, decision-making, sleep, and digestion. Physically speaking, psilocybin mushrooms are virtually non-toxic and anti-addictive. In other words, it's almost impossible to physically die from consuming mushrooms and to develop a physical dependence. I mean, it's not very often you hear of a shroom addict. Got to see those fractals, man. However, psychologically, this is another story. But at the end of the day, this really comes down to the individual's mental state and the environment one trips in. The mushroom experience is notorious for giving you access to the unconscious, which of course results in different experiences since everyone has a unique mind. Maybe this is why quote-unquote bad trips can be so terrifying, because they can show you repressed aspects of your psyche, which can be quite uncomfortable, especially if you've been running away from your shadow your whole life. And this is why building the foundation of your mind is of utmost importance. Similar to most psychedelics, mushrooms are a perfect example of extreme polarity within the human experience, especially at high doses. In fact, many times a mushroom trip can either take you to heaven or hell, sometimes both within the same trip. However, I do want to distinguish a bad trip from a challenging trip. A challenging trip, which may be perceived as horrific at the time, can actually produce long-term benefits when integrated, whereas a bad trip can cause severe psychological damage, which may not be super common, but it definitely does happen, which needs to be acknowledged. We can't always pull a Leary and blindly worship the mushroom gods. We must stay critical and see things as they are. I mean, let's not forget that it's this sort of reckless behavior that fueled the prohibition of psychedelics in the first place. In the best case scenario, psilocybin has helped people with clinical depression, cluster headaches, bipolar syndrome, OCD, nicotine addiction, and even existential despair, which in some cases results in literally saving lives. Now, in the worst case scenarios, mushrooms can do quite the opposite and actually trigger PTSD, depression, and existential despair. Some people have developed full-blown psychosis, which they never recovered from, and others have even taken their own life. Psychedelics are no joke, and remember that we are just at the infancy stage of psychedelic research. There's still a lot that we don't know, but what we can say is that psychedelics are incomprehensibly strange and ineffable.
I believe that there's a transcendent ethic, and I do believe that it touches on the metaphysical. I believe that people experience that because people are perfectly capable of having unutterably profound religious experiences. And the naturalistic materialists don't know what the hell to do with that. They have no idea what to do with that fact. Say, well, it's delusional. It's like, well, hang on a sec. People who have those experiences appear to be more successful and healthier. It's like, so exactly in what manner is that delusional?
One of the most famous psilocybin studies was conducted in the Johns Hopkins University, which found that psilocybin can occasion a mystical experience. In this study, 2/3 of the participants reported that the psilocybin session was among the top 5 most spiritually significant experiences of their life. And mind you, this is up there with the birth of their first child and the death of a parent. 1/3 of them even ranked it at the very top. And this is unprecedented in the psychiatric field.
And I spent a lot of time talking to patients, many of whom were dying, about how this single high-dose psilocybin experience, a guided psilocybin experience, the image people have is popping some mushrooms in your mouth and maybe going to a concert or going to the beach, but this is a very controlled internal experience, completely reset these people's attitude toward death and allowed them to die with equanimity. It was one of the most effective psychiatric interventions that these psychiatrists had ever seen.
Now, of course, we must note that all of these studies carefully screen their patients and make sure it's in a very controlled environment with professional practitioners that help the participants before, during, and after their psilocybin experience, which isn't exactly how most people trip on mushrooms in the real world. There's a big difference between consuming a carefully measured dose of psilocybin with a psychologist in a controlled environment and just taking mushroom caps in a festival, which is obviously a very unpredictable environment. And at the end of the day, it's the integration phase, which is even more important than the trip itself. As I've stated before, mushrooms are an extremely polarizing power tool. It can be used practically, such as building a house, or destructively, like accidentally chopping your arm off. This is why it could be wise to work your way up and safely learn how to use the basic tools first, i.e. meditation, exercise, diet, shadow work, etc. The scientific research behind psilocybin is looking very promising, especially because it's unlike any class of compounds on Earth. And just like any profound technology, it has the potential to be used towards the good of mankind, particularly in the mental health scene, if used responsibly, of course. More people are anxious, depressed, and committing suicide more than ever before in recorded history. So obviously something needs to change here. Perhaps we can consider opening up therapeutic centers with professional guides that administer psychedelics for those who wish to safely consume them. But we must also stay super vigilant when approaching these powerful tools which demand respect. They may be all fun and games in the lower doses, but if you use mushrooms irresponsibly, they may not be such a fun guy. Psilocybin has the potential to help you step outside yourself and observe life from a different perspective. And I don't think I'm just speaking for myself when I say that these life-transforming trips can result in gaining compassion, insight, and self-knowledge that we as a human race so desperately need during these turbulent times. And the most mind-boggling thing about psilocybin is that you only really need to do it once or twice in your lifetime, and it can really stay with you for the rest of your life. Now, of course, I'm not saying go out to your local forest and munch on these mushrooms. If you're not prepared and go overboard with these drugs, you can really mess yourself up and lose grip of reality and develop solipsism and derealization and things like this. However, with the responsible use of psilocybin, these compounds can transform not only the mental health scene, but how we view consciousness altogether. Like Stan Groff once said, psychedelics used responsibly and with proper caution would be for psychiatry what the microscope is for biology and medicine, or the telescope is for astronomy. And for obvious reasons, making nature illegal has never ended well. I think it's our birthright to have the freedom to explore our own consciousness as long as we're not hurting anybody else. Unbiased education is the key here, not throwing people in cages because they prefer a different drug than you do. But whether you're for or against psychedelics, I think we can all agree that psilocybin has an incredibly profound effect on human consciousness. And I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that we're barely scratching the surface here.
I don't think there is much doubt about it for you and me, for many of us, that at least psychedelic chemicals, not all drugs, but psychedelic chemicals, have a capacity to cut through places where you are attached and clinging, to set them aside and show you a possibility. The problem is that they don't allow you to become the possibility, they only show you the possibility. Then after a few hours, you lose the view of the possibility and you have it only as a memory. I would be a hypocrite if I knocked drugs. At the same moment, let me point out that it is not a full diet. And once you know the possibility, you might as well get on with it. Getting on with it means cleaning out the places that you have the attachments, not overriding them. And what chemicals do is they override them. And finally, you get so greedy to be done that you just start to want to deal with your shit rather than pushing it under the rug all the time. And at that point, you start to not try to get high, but work with your lows. And then drugs lose their savor or their pull. For some people, they could be useful, but I don't believe that for anybody that's able to sit in this room and know what I'm talking about, they are any longer necessary.
What's going on, everybody? It's Adam here. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, this is Cheech. And this is Chong. And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio. What is it? Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time. 420 Radio? Woo!
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Are you an independent musician? How would you like to have your songs played on hundreds of radio stations just like the one you're listening to right now? Join MusicSubmit.com and we'll promote your music to radio stations and blogs in your genre. It's free to set up your account, and we guarantee your music will be considered for airplay by radio stations worldwide. Why not sign up today? It's free. MusicSubmit.com. Radio promotion for indie musicians.
This is how we grow the weed.
That's the next one I gotta do.
Dun dun dun.
Hey, where'd she go? She was just right here and she left.
So was he. Oh, he just didn't. He left his chair. Oh no, he just moved his camera.
He just turned around.
Yeah.
I was watching YouTube.
And the stage. And she's back. You were watching YouTube. You were watching that video?
Did you watch it, Marcel?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
It's a good one.
It's actually really good.
Oh no, I watched it before. I've seen it. I just that's why I just I went and got a drink and just figured, let me check out YouTube for a bit. And some guy had a 4K thing of Cape Breton Island, so I just started looking at it. Which I don't know why. It's like I've been there many a time, so I don't know what the fuck why.
So
no, you said 15 minutes, and I was like, yes, bathroom.
The only interesting thing, I think they were from Quebec, and there's like, so we're going through the town of Baddock.
Baddock, Baddock. I like when tourists come to Nova Scotia and they ask.
We do have some fucked up names. We do.
I had a couple stop me from Ontario one time and said, "How do you say the name of that?" And they're pointing at the sign, and I said, "Which one?" Because it was one way was the Shubenacadie and the other one was the Muscadaubit.
Muscadaubit's fucking a rough one.
Muscadaubit's hard. When people look at Muscadaubit, it's mosquito bit.
I
Not
don't even
quite.
know how you would spell that.
Just like it sounds. Muscadaubit.
Musquoubit.
Just like it sounds.
D. Muscadaubit.
D-O-B-E-T.
Yeah, I forgot the Q, U, or O-B, or D, O-B, yeah. But it's M-U-S-Q, O-D,
Daubit.
O-B, O-I-T, isn't it? Isn't it B-O-I-T at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Muscadaubit sucks. No offense, people living in
Oh, actually,
Muscadaubit.
it's B-O-I-T.
That's why I said it's B-O-I-T, yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say it sucks. It's just, it feels so far to get there.
But it's not that far, really.
I don't know why.
I mean,
it just feels so long to get there, though, man.
I felt that way about Belleville.
Yeah, but
What?
I mean,
Belleville's not far. Like 2 minutes, I'm already here.
in Lenny's case, Muscadaubit Harbor would be a long way away.
That's that. I guess
Valley is only 10 minutes.
No, I guess for me, I'm talking about Muscadaubit Harbor. To be fair,
yeah.
Well, it's definitely a mouthful.
Oh yeah.
Tatamagouche is another one. Tatamaguchi, I've heard.
Yeah, Tatamagouche. Kijamakuji.
Yeah.
Keji is really a really hard one.
Fuck, people can't say churro.
Well, yeah, that's
I had a hard time at first with churro. I was like,
It's the T-R-U-R.
churro.
Churro. I hear.
What's funny is that you can say just say churro.
Churro.
Like the food. Like the food. Churro.
Yeah, they say churro. Yeah.
Hey, I say churro and nobody knows the difference.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's churro. I don't know. It's easy.
I say
another one.
I heard churro.
Obviously, the Nova Scotia beer. Maybe you guys aren't aware of it. It's Alexander Keith's.
Just your.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
No, but famous wise, it's Alexander Keith's.
Yeah,
But I can always tell when someone's from a kind of an Alexander Keith's.
Yeah, Keith's.
Get it?
Keith's.
A Nova Scotian basically calls it Alexander Keith's.
No, a Nova Scotian just calls it a Keith's.
Yeah, true. Give me a Keith's. Yeah, that's fair.
Give me a Keith's. Yeah.
But when I hear Keith's, I kind of giggle.
My favorite Nova Scotia beer was always Olin's.
Olin's actually, well, in pharmacy, there's called interchangeability between drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me and my buddy Chris used to just call it vitamin K and vitamin O. They're interchangeable.
Yeah.
But Keith's did change. It's not the same as it was years ago. Like it's more like a multi product now or something. It's not.
It's like Labatt's Blue has changed too. It's just not like it was when I was a kid.
Olin's changed because when I come back from BC, I couldn't wait Actually went to the liquor store at the airport and got a case of Olin's because it's unheard of in BC.
Yeah.
And it tasted completely
It's
different.
still pretty close to what I remember. I had a few probably 4 weeks ago. I went to a Weezer cover band show in town, and
did you?
And yeah, actually they're quite good. And
they were called Pleaser.
No, they were called the Corvette Sunset. Like they're a band out of Halifax, but they were playing a whole night of Weezer covers. Like they are a band, and this is just something obviously to pay the bills, probably. And it was fun. But I had probably half a dozen Olin's that evening. And a few joints.
And a few joints.
Yes. Well, it was hot in the bar, so I have to drink something. And you usually get a little thirst when you come in from the joint. And I felt bad. It's like, I don't want to just drink water all night. And
wash it down with a beer.
Yeah, so I decided to have a beer. I didn't expect to have 5 or 6. Maybe it was 5.
Where was it, Belly Up?
Yeah, exactly. And
I think that's Stella.
Yeah, but I just decided, I usually get Jameson when I do have a drink, right? So I just decided that night, let me have a beer. It'll fill me. I won't really enjoy it. And fuck, I was enjoying those old ones.
I don't know. I don't drink enough anymore. We were laughing about it the other day. About it's been so long since I bought some beer. And I said, geez, I said,
I don't buy beer.
I said, you like Stella? I said, we could always go get a case. Yeah, we should. I said, well, liquor store's right there. Pull in. Oh, no, we'll do it later.
Yeah.
That's what it is, because we don't really care.
Honestly, I do. I do actually buy cannabis drinks, like just to sip on. And unfortunately, Marijane, you're right there, carbonated. And some of them are a little hard in the stomach. You're right.
Well, you were talking about FODMAP.
Yeah.
And I cannot drink carbonated beverages. Period.
Well, I think most of us
literally.
They're technically the carbonation is carbonic acid, really. Like it's actually not good for us.
Well, I can't have pop. I can't have soda water. I can't have it. So, like, every company that I talk to, I'm like, you're alienating so many people, and you don't realize you are. And everybody I've talked to is like, oh my God, this is great feedback because I never considered this. I understand from my end, it has to do with the making of the cannabis and the like it's just easier with the carbonation.
It's the bubbles is masking the taste.
So I'm like, that's why I'm like, hey, teapot. And until I can find one that's better than that, like really I'm looking at sugar content right now.
Oh fuck, some of them are crazy. Woo.
I will tell you that because I got freaked out when I drank an extra large French vanilla cappuccino and realized that there is 16 teaspoons of sugar in an extra large French vanilla cappuccino that I was just like, yeah. So this,
how many in this one? 20.
The one I like to drink, which is not the original. I like to drink the mango. It's in the middle.
In the middle. What this is
one there is the original flavor.
Is it?
How many?
20. It was 25.
Yeah, that's the highest.
Anyway,
that's the highest. It's about 25. Is it 25 grams of sugar?
23 grams of sugar. I can't really read it that well, but I think that's what it says.
Yes.
And then in the
25
mango
carbohydrates, potassium 175, THC 5 milligrams, CBD 1 milligram.
Yeah. So in the mango one, the one I drink all the time, the carbs are 17 grams and the sugar is 16 grams. So from what I've learned recently, that tells you it's all garbage sugar. Like there's good sugar and bad sugar. This is bad sugar. But it's still only 16 grams.
All sugar is
bad
sugar.
So this
if you get there's natural sugar with fruit.
It's still bad.
I'm not going to argue with you about that. If you're going to have sugar, I'm like, that's the way to go.
Well,
no,
yeah,
the only way to have sugar is when you're eating the fruit.
Exactly. The fruit sugar.
I feel like this is back to the thing that earlier you're like, juice is bad.
No, it is.
Every time I reach for a juice now, I hear Lennie. juice is bad.
No,
Yeah.
it really
Well,
is. Like eat an
the
orange.
blue one.
Okay.
I'll go to the blue one.
To the blue one.
Yeah, that's the bedtime one because it's infused with chamomile.
Ooh. But is it it's not carbonated?
Not carbonated.
And you
Only
can get
35
it's not-
calories. That's not too
Bad
bad.
one?
You
The
can
blue
get
one,
it
it's
mail order?
not sweet.
Can you order this
Yeah,
mail order? Yeah.
Yeah, you can get it through OCS.
7 grams isn't too bad.
No, it's not sweet, and I get it. They do it because it's bedtime drink. If you're drinking that, it's before bed, and you shouldn't be drinking shit tons of sugar before bed.
But I've seen a couple of cannabis drinks like root beer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're like 65 grams of sugar.
I know.
Scroll that down a bit, Al.
Sure.
Sodium, carbohydrates. 8
Yeah,
grams.
I'm all for having cannabis in my body, but like, I don't want to put all that sugar.
Yeah. But you're right about Starbucks drinks and things like that and how much people are buying. If they really looked at the calories and sugars, holy fuck.
I don't like Starbucks anything.
Same as energy drinks and soda, Coke.
Oh God, the kids drink that fucking gangster.
Prime.
What is it called? Monster.
I drink a Monster once in a while.
I thought you were going to say Prime, the new one.
What's the sugar content?
I get the zero sugar one.
Oh.
Oh my God. This cannabis beverage is 35 grams of sugar.
Yeah, that's not even the worst one.
Yeah, it's just one that I pulled up because I remembered the name. I'm not into like shaming these people. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but there's lots of them out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's my
yeah.
issue with most of the and the reason a lot of them do carbonate them is to get the sugar content down and hide the taste.
So here's a cool thing about cannabis and sugar. Is cannabis will bond, or cannabinoids will bond to sugar, the same as they'll bond to oil. But your digestive system does two completely different things. Oil is absorbed when it hits the small intestine, while sugar is absorbed in the stomach. Right? So by
what does that mean?
Mixing with the sugar, it hits you a little quicker, especially if you had a big meal. And I find with the sugar, I get more of a head high than I do with an oil-based.
Probably. Everyone gets the sugar high.
Yeah. And that's what I think it is. This is sugar high. So, and an easy way to see the difference is to try it. Try one of those sugar drinks, but then try like a oil capsule and time them. Do it on 2 different days. Don't do it.
I like oil capsules in a can of Coca-Cola, to be honest. I like them in anything.
Yeah, Mary Jane,
water.
you're right.
I'll
Go
drink
back
it.
to the juice.
Yeah. You stick with the juice. There's a lot less sugar in that juice than there is in that can of Coke.
Yeah. Sugar or honey when you have diabetes?
Honestly,
Wouldn't it be honey?
Honey.
It's supposed to be worse.
It will put it up, but it probably won't put it up as fast. So it'll probably be a little slower. All right, Al, do you have one of those like
meter?
Not like the Libres, like the one that the continuous monitoring, like little things on the back of your arm.
No.
No. That's the way to go, eh?
I have a machine that I can check my blood. I don't even do that.
No, but the reason being is they're like you put them in for like I think it's 2 weeks, I believe. Even people that aren't diabetic, you know.
Emily uses it because she's got type 1. I just have type 2.
No, but you don't even have to be diabetic. Even people trying to lose weight.
Oh, really?
Well, because what it is, it's measuring your sugar every minute, and you can take your phone. It goes right to your phone.
It. Yeah.
And what it is, if you want to learn how to eat, so your question about honey versus sugar, if you had that meter, you would know.
You would know, yeah.
It's what it's trying to do. It you start to learn, holy fuck, look what my sugar just did when I ate that bowl of Fruit Loops that we're talking about.
I can feel it though. You know, like I have
not 90%
I have
sugar
a couple of
changes
dozen
you can.
jelly beans, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. But it is something worth looking into because it's not even just about insulin or this
Now,
or
is that something that
it's about teaching you what happens if you eat certain
diabetic
foods.
clinic, that's something that they would put on the table, probably. Yes.
So
yes
Mayo
and no.
Clinic, the Mayo Clinic says there's no advantage to substituting honey for sugar in a diabetes eating plan. Both honey and sugar will affect your blood sugar level. Honey is sweeter than granulated sugar, so you might use a smaller amount of honey for sugar in some recipes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As much as they're saying there's no difference, no, they're both sweet and they both can put your sugar up. But how much you consume and how quickly it happens?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It will put your
Is it
sugar
a
up.
quick spike and then a quick drop off, or is it a steady
slower,
incline?
exactly, right?
Yep.
So,
well, I put 1 cube. I use cubes, that way I know I'm not going over anything, and I use 1 cube of sugar. But then when I use honey, I just take a little bit, a drizzle, really.
Well, isn't 1 cube half a teaspoon anyways?
Yes, I believe so. Actually, I thought it was 1 teaspoon.
No, what's this in tea, or what do you have this in tea or coffee?
Yeah. I don't drink coffee.
Switch to coffee and get off the tea. Tea's gross.
You don't like the taste of coffee? I
hate tea.
Awesome.
I hate tea.
I'm drinking decaf at the moment because that's the only thing the fucking store had.
But I also drink my coffee black too.
I love the smell of coffee. I hate the taste of it. I will throw up if I taste coffee in any form.
I fucking love it. It's not even for the caffeine. I just love it.
I love tea that way. I have probably 10.
But I love the taste of coffee.
I probably have 10 of these a day full of tea, plus water. I mean, I drink 10 of those of water too. So,
well,
but I do enjoy tea. I do enjoy
Tea's
cannabis
been
drinks.
proven to help with fertility, so you keep drinking now. Maybe
okay, good. It's also a natural diuretic, which is what I'm going for.
So, Mary Jane, when
So
do you
is
like to
cranberry
drink
juice.
cannabis drinks? Like, what's your why? Like, obviously, you smoke and inhale. Like, when do you decide to drink a cannabis beverage?
Okay, so I tried one just because I was at my sister. The first one I tried, I was at my sister's house.
Yeah.
It was my niece's birthday, and it's summer, backyard party. Everybody's drinking. I didn't want to feel like I'm literally like, I gotta drink water, and I can't really. I can still go smoke my joint. I can have my vape, but I want to participate in the events.
It's the social movement.
Well, and it also not only was social, like I'm drinking and they're drinking, but it was also like I didn't have to leave the party as much to go and have a joint. I only smoked like 2 joints the whole time I was there. And when I left, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't feel the need to go out there. And I kind of, when I drank like half the can and then I went to go to the bathroom and I had this like, when I used to have a drink and like, you know, you have your first drink and then you get up to go pee and you're like, oh my God, maybe I am a little like, it wasn't like I was drunk, but it was like, oh, I kind of like this because I don't drink alcohol, but I am kind of looking for that.
That's basically myself as well. When I go to friends' events that are not cannabis inhalators, it's their home. They know I smoke and they don't care if I go outside, but you're right. That time of, oh, Lenny's going outside for another joint, you feel
like you did when you smoked cigarettes.
FOMO. It's not FOMO, but you feel rude or something. I don't know what it is.
Well, you don't want to leave the party either.
I never go in alone, so.
No, but yeah, it's just. I shouldn't say unfortunate. That's a terrible word. My friends, most of them are health professionals that I hang out with a lot and really close, and they're just not into inhalation. They'll actually drink a cannabis drink once in a while themselves. But they like alcohol. That's fair. It's their choice. But
well, some people don't like the way cannabis makes them feel. Like
some as well, yeah. And
but they like alcohol.
I love getting fucking drunk. Like I I was a booze can for 20 years, hardcore. I still like being liquored.
Not me.
But I also
I
know
hate the
it
feeling
is
of being drunk.
horrible.
I
It's
hate it.
horrible for me. It's not
Right.
good for my health. It'll kill me. So
The
I
next day
stopped.
is fucking miserable, especially the older you get.
Hangovers get worse. There's part of that too. But just, I know it's killing my liver. I know it's going to cause diabetes. I know it's bad for you. Alcohol, horrible. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Cannabis is not, whatever. I'm not trying to argue health benefits or not. I'm just saying it's not as hard on the body or as damaging as alcohol. So I made a choice that I'd rather not
smart
die
people,
sooner.
yeah, but
Yeah.
smart people will use cannabis and alcohol, so the cannabis can counteract the damage the alcohol is doing.
I don't know
Or
that
you
one,
just
but anyway.
steer away from the alcohol altogether.
But
No,
no.
I have like two best friends, and one of them is like heavy consumer of cannabis, just like I am, but also doesn't drink because she doesn't like what it does to her body. It's too much. It's too much. She like doesn't end up feeling well. But then my other best friend, when she smokes a joint, she's like, I'm going to my room. I'm going to my room. I'm not coming out until tomorrow.
I know people like that.
But that's why I like these cannabis beverages, because now me and my other heavy consumer friend, we can go out and have a girls' night and have a couple cannabis beverages, and our other friend can have some alcoholic beverages, and we're
that's
all
what
like
I'm
Lennie said, it's the social movement. It's the
But
we're
what
all
I
drinking
like to
together.
do is have both. So put some alcohol in that fucking THC drink of yours.
Yeah.
You got
But what I'm like, you're asking me about
See, and
pushing
that's
someone
your
sampling.
choice.
Exactly.
I
That's what I mean.
really want cannabis beverages in 19 plus establishments.
Yes.
I want that now.
Absolutely.
I don't know why they don't have that.
I don't know
It's
why.
fucking, the smoking I get, but just get them in the fucking place.
I want to say that there is a dispensary here in my town that has brought in an arcade game to their dispensary. They brought in board games and tables and chairs, and they have turned themselves into a consumption lounge / retail, but you can only consume, like you're saying, edibles, drinks. It's supposed to be a social space. So like, you want to go try a drink like Teapot and drink with your friends, go there. Go play video games. Go and hang out.
That's awesome. I love that.
But it's not against the rules and regulations. But this is one thing Katie from Toke Cannabis was saying at this last expo. The rules and regulations are set, but if you read them, like for example, the window coverings, it says you cannot have any products visible from the storefront window.
If you have no products in your store and you go and keep it in the back, you can take everything.
Well,
off.
this is what a lot of people were like, oh, we'll just throw up window coverings because this is what we'll do. And people just assumed that this was the industry standard, that you had to put up window coverings.
No.
When in reality, that's not it. So just like this guy here in town, he's like, there's nothing that says that people cannot consume once they purchase.
Depends on the province.
Okay, that's fair.
No. You're like Ontario, you might be right, but Nova Scotia, I think the intent
That makes sense.
Nova
the intent
Scotia's the
is you're
liquor
supposed
store.
to take it home and consume it in your private, like, not that anyone fucking regulates it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying.
But they can't really do it in Nova Scotia because it's their cannabis stores are in the liquor stores.
That too.
So the people would
But the
say,
way
well,
they say,
you,
like,
you can have your cannabis in the store. Why can't we have our liquor and want to sit and drink?
But technically, even alcohol, I think they really say, unless you're in a bar or at your home. Like, obviously, people go to the beach and they drink and blah, blah. Like, the police are. I'll give the police credit. They don't waste their time with that shit, right?
You can drink.
That's actually allowed in Ontario now.
Yeah.
Yep. Any park.
Things are different here.
Unless it is posted, you can drink. You can drink alcohol in any park and near a school or much like
that's
pot.
what it should be. Fucking Vegas is where it's at. You fucking go into the shopping and you're drinking a beer. It's fucking awesome.
New Orleans, you walk down the sidewalk. All the beer kiosks give you all your drinks, and it's not just beer, all liquor.
Oh
it's
man,
all
the
in
fun like
plastic cups.
Jimmy
So now
buckets.
there's a whole industry in down in New Orleans, those plastic cups, because every fucking place has their own cups.
Yeah,
I had when I said I used to drink a lot. I was down in Vegas.
Oh, really? It's a
I got this
collector's thing.
giant fucking flute of margarita. It was like fucking 8 shots of tequila and frozen thing. I walked all over the Vegas Strip for like 3 hours drinking this fucking frozen margarita, getting shit faced on the street. It was awesome.
That's what I did in New Orleans with hurricanes.
It's so much fun, and
They have these-
no one's getting hurt. It's fine.
I've
Then
never
I-
been to
then I
Vegas,
met-
and I've only been to a casino with Mary Jane.
I love it.
And you
Vegas,
complain the whole time.
I did not.
Vegas is fun.
You did too. Are we gonna walk around the whole place? Ugh.
I never went
And
to
then I have to
Vegas.
listen to you for 3 days after.
We had just walked around all day at an event.
Yeah, that's
then you
true.
went to a
I don't even
casino.
know what. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because I don't ever do just one thing. I got to do multiple things.
We went to Reno a couple times, and it was awesome. But
I've always wanted to go to Reno.
Reno
I hear
is-
it's a better time than Vegas.
well because it's a bit
One of my
smaller.
favorite movies.
It's not.
It's called
country
called
music,
Waking Up in Reno.
No,
That's
it's
why I
not
always
as
wanted to
no,
go.
They've got all kinds of different
I know.
venues for music and stuff like that, but it's
Little
not
Nevada
as-
is what they consider it, though.
Yeah, it's not as gangstery as Vegas is.
Gangstery?
Do we want to let's
If that's
let's
the term.
see what's going on in New Orleans? Go ahead and talk.
But yeah, Reno was awesome. But what I liked was I had a friend that worked security at one of the casinos out by the airport in Reno that I met online, and then I said I was going down. And he said, "Well, when you come down," he said, "let me know. I'll pick you up and I'll bring you for a tour." And he gave me a tour of the backside of a casino, the more of the
That's
inner
cool.
workings, and it's fucking amazing how much these guys are doing behind the scenes that people don't know. Casinos in Vegas and Reno and places like that, good casinos don't have windows. There are no windows that you can see from the gaming floor, and the reason for that is they don't want people to know what it is outside, whether
Where
it's
is this,
daytime
Mary Jane?
or nighttime.
This is the Cat's Meow balcony in New Orleans.
In the corner.
I go on this
Yeah, that's
website,
right, the French
EarthCam.
Quarter.
Yeah, so I go on EarthCam. I found this when COVID was going on because I was trapped in my house and I was like, "Fuck, I need to get out."
Oh,
So
we've been doing that for years.
I would go and find like webcams all over.
Yeah. My buddy and
my favorite.
my buddy and I sat in my living room and we walked via webcams from our apartment in Durham, Ontario, to the forest in Cuba. Not Cuba, in what's below on the other side of Panama.
The other side of Panama.
Colombia. Yeah, we literally walked via webcams and stuff like that right into the Colombian forest where it just stopped because there's no roads.
It's funny.
Yeah. What you got there, buddy? You got a Red Bull going on? Bull piss? Some bull piss for Lennie.
I got a WHL game to watch here in 5 minutes. So
Okay,
you
we're down to
You need to drink for that.
Yeah. So
Do you drink Red Bull with alcohol?
oh fuck, they're awesome. Yes.
Oh, good.
Jaeger bombs.
I remember when Red Bull first came out.
Yeah.
Still don't like it.
I love the taste of Red Bull. I'd just drink it if there was no caffeine in it.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
gross.
there's a lot of caffeine in that, isn't there?
It's coffee.
You oh shit, volume. Mute.
Is there volume for this thing? Do you think? Let's see if we can hear any volume. No, it's just a cam. It's like the old, we used to do webcams.
The karaoke one. The karaoke one on EarthCam, in the actual inside the karaoke cam, that has sound. Don't play that. I'm just saying, but that one has sound.
Okay, thank you for the.
So if you like watching those types of videos, I'll tell you a really good one that I watch a lot, especially this time of year, and it's Brooks Falls, Alaska.
I've seen that one.
And it's the grizzly bears getting the salmon out of the river.
Yep.
And it's hilarious to watch. That's because a lot of times there's a lot of bears that show up. So you get
I
some
bet
good
you it's on here.
bear
Let's see.
fights.
Holy crap! Look at all those people there.
Brooke
Can't get over how many people are there.
Falls.
There's hardly anybody.
Well, I will say, even during COVID, there was tons of people there.
Oh yeah.
Like I couldn't get over how many people were there. I was
Nope,
like, and
no
we're stuck
Brooks
in our
Falls.
house.
Next one. No Brooks Falls.
Not on that one. That's on Brooks
Yeah.
Falls is on explore.org, I think. Yeah.
I thought there were. These are all the different cameras that they have.
So I haven't talked to Marcel lately. Is your crop going to make it this year, Marcel?
Well, it's survived 2 hurricanes so far.
Okay.
And as shitty of a season as it has been, I won't go away empty-handed like a lot of people are.
Yeah,
I've heard it. I heard it's been rough in Nova Scotia because of the rain.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been under. Well, I mean, the whole month of July was rain.
August, we had 7 days of no rain.
Yeah, and in September's hurricane and rain and hurricane and rain.
Yeah.
Now we're forecast for another week of sun here. A bit of showers on Tuesday, I think, and that's fine by me because I would still like to go another 2 weeks on some of them.
Okay.
But if I can't go 2 weeks, then I'll haul out the trimmer and fire her up and start throwing it in. But yeah, it hasn't been a good season. Everybody's fighting powdery mildew and molds.
Yeah.
And males.
And well, not all
That's
of us.
gonna happen. That's gonna happen the more and more that people start growing. 'Cause
Everything mailed on me this year, Len. I got nothing.
Did you try the Donair Kush, Mary Jane?
Yeah. No.
No, you haven't tried it yet?
Oh no, I thought you meant right now. Sorry,
No.
I'm buzzing off the
Donair
tit
Kush.
animal.
Why Donair Kush? What'd you do? Cross.
I like the Donair.
You got it.
I like the Donair over.
I'll be honest, it's fucking platinum OG Kush.
Okay.
We tell people that, but what it was, I'll tell you the story how the name got. Well, Marcel knows Matt. We grew it. It was really nice. It is really popular. That's why I was asking when she thought of it. And we saw there's a bunch of platinum things on OCS, and it was like, oh, for fuck's sakes! If you try to apply for it, they'll say they have too many platinums. So we're like, all right, we'll be these assholes that rename something. So we decided to be it. So in the end, we were making fun of some of the other local LPs, and they're making fun of everything was a wave or crab or fucking something. And Matt and I were just making fun of them. It's like, hey, stupid to rename shit anyway, but they always do. And the other thing is, like, they haven't even done anything. It was truly Nova Scotian. So we were like, you need something that's fucking stinky and means fucking Nova Scotia. So there's only 2 things stinky in Nova Scotia that people like: lobster and Donair. I ain't calling it Lobster Kush, so fuck it, Donair Kush. So it's got nothing to do with Donair. It stinks. There's a little bit of a sweet bakery taste at the end of it.
I'll try. The only thing they had here so far.
Yeah.
Was oh fuck, I can't remember what he had in.
Yeah.
He had one strain in, and then a couple of the Shatterizer stuffs.
Yeah, but the Donair Kush is the only reason I was asking her. It's
I'll
like
see.
we can't. It is fucking pretty popular in Ontario right now.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Donair over the Titanimal.
The Titanimal's got a little bit more earthy gas into her. It's not.
No, that makes sense. I'm not a gas lover.
There
Do
you
you know
go.
where Donair would sell really good? Is Alberta.
Yeah, it's sold out there too.
Yeah. They
don't.
They would eat that shit up out there.
That's the other funny thing. Matt and I didn't actually know Donair was even anywhere else in Canada. We didn't know it was a thing in Ontario and Alberta.
Right, but what it is so many people have moved from Nova Scotia.
We knew that.
Out to Alberta. You look at some of those guys in Fort McMurray that get Acropole pizzas flown to them every week.
Yeah, we did know that, right? Like we knew that, but there's actually like Donairs, like stores or people like advertise they make Donairs like out there, and then I didn't know that was going on. I was like, oh fuck.
In Musquodoboit Valley is a small restaurant. I forget what the name of it is now, but the guy that owns it, his name is Kyle, Lebanese fellow, and he was in Surrey, BC, trying to do Donairs out there, and it didn't work. So he came back to Nova Scotia, and because his Donairs are amazing. So it's only certain places, BC, Lower Mainland, people weren't buying the Donairs, not when they've got so many other ethnic foods there.
It is
if you like Donairs, you got to go and get one of Kyle's.
I like, honestly, the best one I think I've had is, I used to like Old Bash Delaney in the north end of Halifax. Like was across from where my grandparents lived in the Hydrostone area.
Yeah.
My dad grew up in Halifax, so he would tell you Tony's on Roby Street's the best Donair and blah blah blah. But I'll tell you, Ravana Pizza in Bible Hill.
Theirs are good.
They're pretty fucking good. That's where I get
Acropole
mine.
isn't bad. I had Acropoles.
Yeah. Have you guys had one?
I miss pizza. We got nothing here, dude.
Okay, so do you know what a Donair is?
Yes, I know what they are. We've got a Subway, a Chinese food restaurant, and
Isn't a Donair like a falafel?
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, I mean, I've had one though. I've had one.
A Donair is a pita bread
Yep.
that has a sliced beef mixture, which is basically ground beef and spices.
Oh, it sounds like shawarma.
I was about to say you're going to call it a shawarma.
Like you're going to call it a shawarma.
Yeah.
But then it's got onions and tomatoes. Some will put pepperoni and some will put mozzarella cheese, and then Donair sauce. And Donair sauce is a sweet, garlicky white sauce.
Yuck. It's fucking awesome.
I think I'd rather take some sauerkraut.
No, it takes away the spiciness of the meat, is what it does.
Marcel, we got to go.
And it's spicy.
2, 1.
It's good.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
We are the Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at CBGTV.com.